And I think that Stephen Curry will be the hump that John Morant will have to get over in his career. Steph Curry is going to be the guy that when we look at John Morant, we're going to be like, he has to eventually get over the hump of Steph Curry. Steph will be his initiation into trying to get over. So last year, that's what I said about that clip you just saw. That's what I said about John Morant and the Grizzlies, with Steph and the Warriors. I said that the Grizzlies would, Steph would be the thorn in Ja's side or whatever. And Ja and them, the only difference is Ja and company did win that play-in game last year, but the Warriors beat them this season in the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs. Of course, we had Dillon Brooks out because of that flavor two they called on him, against Gary Payton Jr. I don't really hold that against Dillon Brooks, but it is what it is on that front. But the Warriors and Grizzlies, they've been going at each other on Twitter, mainly Draymond and Ja. I mean, it all started with Clay, and it's just so funny how this happened. Clay admitted that he was thinking about it. He said right after they won, he remembered a tweet from, not a tweet, but yeah, it was a tweet from Jaren Jackson, saying strength in numbers. And we all know that that was the Warriors slogan back in 2015 when that core won their first championship. And Clay admitted that just stuck with him. He never forgot that. So in his press conference, he called Jaren Jackson a bum and talking about the Grizzlies, talking about they ain't never been here before. They talk as if they've been here, like we've been doing this, we've been winning chips. I mean, Klay Thompson, Clay feeling himself. Clay feeling himself because, not to mention next year, Clay's gonna have his legs back under him. And he knows this. He's gonna have his legs. I mean, Clay doesn't know what it's like not to really, not to play in the finals. He took 2 years off because of injury and picked right back up where he left off. So he feeling himself, and he gonna have his legs. So the Warriors, I think, of course, they're up there in age, and you got these young Grizzlies who just, they did a whole lot of talking, but that's the young. That's how the youth are, man. They did a whole lot of talking towards the end of the regular season, but of course, they were doing that to gain some attention because they really weren't getting a lot of attention. I thought they would beat the Warriors in the playoffs and make it to the Western Conference Finals and lose to Phoenix. But, of course, we know how that series went. And like I said, this right here, this is so great for basketball. It's a great storyline going into next season with the Grizzlies and the Warriors. If you into the whole Christmas Day thing lineup, that this right here, they have to make this part of that big spectacle, part of that Christmas Day lineup, and it has to be the main event. It can't be Lakers and Brooklyn. It can't, that primetime slot has to go to the champs. It got to go to the Warriors, and it has to be the Grizzlies. It can't be Warriors versus Lakers, Warriors versus Clippers, Warriors versus Celtics in a finals rematch. It has to be Warriors and Grizzlies because of this back and forth Twitter thing with Draymond and Ja talking about the real estate they got up here. And Draymond said, we got, traded in higher property value in Boston. And they just going back and forth on Twitter. The champs play at home on Christmas. Ja saying pull up, he'll pull up or whatever. It's so good for basketball to see this type of back and forth between these guys because we've seen Ja do the mock of Steph in the playoffs. And you can just tell that he's a guy, he just gets tired of the showboating. But Ja's a showboater just like the entire, pretty much Memphis Grizzlies team. They all showboat, but, just looking forward to going into 2022-2023 season. And, one more thing I wanted to mention, like, Grizzlies, great young team on the rise. I personally think things would have been different had Ja been there and had Brooks not gotten suspended, but it is what it is. That's the unfortunate part about sports. Injuries are part of the game. So what happened, and you can't change that. But Memphis, you, barring any major injuries to either team, if they match up with the Warriors, first they have to make a statement in the regular season when they play the Golden State. Then they have to beat them. It is a must. You just have to split with them in the regular season or win the regular season series, but you have to win in the playoffs. I said that Steph and Ja would be this, Steph would be that guy to Ja that he have to get over, sort of like Mike and the Pistons and things like that. But y'all make it to the playoffs, which you will because you have a great team. You have a championship caliber type team. You have to beat Golden State next spring, next year. You have to beat them. Saying that there are no key injuries and everybody is healthy enough to where this guy is out, but he really isn't that much of an impact player on the court. There is no excuse. You have to take it to the Golden State Warriors. This can't be a thing that lingers on to where they get two off of you. That play-in thing, you got that win. I give Ja full credit for that win. I didn't think they would beat the Warriors last year in the play-in tournament. And this year, you get a pass for me because of injury, Ja. But next year, you, Jaren Jackson, y'all got to shut Draymond them up. We know it's a respect thing. We know that when it comes down to it, they'll shake each other's hand, doubt each other up. But you love the back and forth. But you can tell they don't really like the Warriors. That's a team that they really want to beat. That's the team you can look at the Grizzlies and say, because you have some guys who will talk that mess, but at the end of the day, they don't really want to match up with that team. You can tell Memphis look at Golden State and they think we can beat these dudes. We can beat these dudes. They caught us. They caught us slipping this year. Injuries, suspensions, Steve Kerr going up to the podium and pulling that power move, in my opinion. But I ain't gonna go into all that. Getting Brooks suspended. But they looking at the Warriors like we can beat these cats. And that's what they have to do next year. I'm loving what I'm seeing from these guys. I can't wait until the 2022-2023 season now because of this. There's a lot to look forward to, but this right here is it right here. Grizzlies and Warriors have to be the main event. All 4 games, if they play each other 4 times or all 3, all have to be prime time. And there was one game that they played last year in the regular season that I remember where the final score, I think that Memphis gave Golden State their first loss or first home loss. But the final score was like low 100s in overtime. Show you how great they are defensively, both teams, and show you how they get after it. So it's going to be something special to see these 2 teams play. But I have to give my thoughts on that. Appreciate y'all for hearing me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. And I will see you soon. Peace. When people see this, they're going to say, well, he really wasn't a nice guy. He may have been a tyrant. Well, that's because you never won anything. I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win and be a part of that as well. Look, I'm only doing this because it is who I am. That's the way I played the game. That was my mentality. And if y'all want to play that way,